Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at...
Pardon the interruption for a very important news update.
This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is no holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther, farther, farther. Theme hits loud, then the grips come off. Call out the card, call every payoff. Botches, legends, titles, and heat. Pay-per-view nights, run it back, repeat. They slam, we analyze. Move for move, every feud, every bruise, every pivot move. This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is no holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. No script, just true. Every jab breaks through. From the bell to the brawl. Name the show. We want it all. 1, 2, 3. This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is no holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther.
All right. Hello, everybody. We are in the thick of WrestleMania season. It's right around the corner, and No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast continues its WrestleMania Rewind series. I'm Bobby Melendez, joined always by my tag team partner, Josh Kimmel. And man, we got a great show tonight to discuss one of the most epic WrestleManias in history, especially the finish of it, WrestleMania VI. Before we get into that, my tag team partner, Josh, my brother, how are you?
Man, I am doing pretty good. It is a April 12th, WrestleMania season. Usually WrestleMania has already been had previous years, early Aprils when WrestleMania would have been done. We have WrestleMania next week, but we are on WrestleMania 6 from Sky Dome in Toronto, Canada, the first WrestleMania outside the US. I thoroughly enjoyed this WrestleMania, Bobby. This is a new era. I feel like I say this every time, but it is like a time capsule. Every week we're fast forwarding 1 year. We're what's the thing called where you play Madden and you super sim the whole year and
you simulate the season.
That's what we're doing. We're simulating from, if you're in dynasty mode, from one WrestleMania to the other to see what the card is, to see what wrestler moved up or moved down, to what storylines have unfolded. Some have carried over from previous WrestleManias. Some are new. We have new characters. But let me tell you something, Bobby. This felt like a clash of eras. Like, we truly had like awesome matches where that was fast, that was new, that was cool. And then, oh, it's these guys again. Dino Bravo again. Oh, we got the atomic drops flying over the top rope again. Like, so it was a truce. Like, I felt we're going to get a turn very soon.
You see the changing of the times. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that is for sure going on. I will say I'm looking forward to the end of this show. So when you drop your rankings, because I have to say, if I did have a ranking system from 1 to 6, 6, I think, has moved to the top. It felt big. It felt like it was important. The matches felt important. Every match, there's some that, but every match seemed, was fun. And I see Justin Toner in the comments. One of my favorite, lots of fun memories watching with the family. Grayson's back there. I saw Maria earlier. Shout out to everyone watching right now for watching live on FTSN YouTube or on X, on whichever X, mine or FTSN. We appreciate you. If you're anywhere other than YouTube, come on over. Get in the comments. Let us know what you thought of WrestleMania 6 as we get through it. And, throw it in the comments. Yes, there's my grandmother. She is a witness to my history. Always liked those wrestlers. I did. The Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Macho King, Randy Savage. It was a lot of fun And I've always loved talking about it when I used to destroy her trampoline in the back of her house, tossing around my cousin and my brothers. And, they said, stop wrestling. We couldn't do it. We just keep doing it. Love you, Grandma. God bless you. Thank you for watching. So just got to give my grandmother some love out there. Appreciate her tuning in, Josh. But there's DSG. This was a fun show. I mean, honestly, you see some of the new guys come in, guys that we know who become wrestling legends later, but young. I mean, every match was a lot of fun. Most every match. There are some that you could have, whatever. But we'll get right into it. I'm doing this one a little different. We just got the card right there. Not going to go crazy. It's just going to be what it is, right? And we're going to start off with the very first one. Rick Martel, the model, Rick Martel, taking on Coco Beware. This match about 5 minutes, 31 seconds. Rick Martel defeated Coco Beware with the Boston Crab, where, Walls of Jericho, right? Back in, what we call Walls of Jericho now is Boston Crab back then. This was an entertaining match. Not going to lie. I mean, I enjoyed it. Man, Coco was great. Super athletic. But I was very impressed with Rick Martel. This is my first time actually watching a match longer and paying attention to him. He had to look for back then, So he had to look, and they kept going, hey, he's gorgeous. Oh, man, he can pick up all the ladies. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But he was not bad in the ring either. He knew how to tell a story. He was a prick, and you're rooting for Coco, but of course Coco goes down again. Coco Beware falls to a submission, man. But I was entertained by this match. What did you think?
Yeah, man. Did you check the private chat? Just before
I did. Yeah. Everything seems okay. What's up?
Okay. Then we're good to go. Then maybe it's my audio.
Do you hear like a clicking?
Today. I hear a little something, but it's not.
I hear something from yours too. I don't know what it is, but I hear it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like okay.
So as long then we'll push through, right? Like Hulk Hogan in the main event, when his knee went down, he pushed through. He lost, but we'll get there later on.
Yeah,
so we'll go
the girth. I see that DSG.
So yeah, I just wrote down. I have notes on my phone, so if I look down, I'm looking at my phone. I have notes on my computer. I got notes everywhere. But I wrote, okay, Coco can move, and it was a good short opening match. Like nothing to it. A little bleed over, a little 2026. Like if you're watching this as a time capsule, like AEW has a pay-per-view tonight, Dynasty, and I'm like thinking about buying it because there's a couple matches I want to watch, but then again, I don't want to sit through 15 matches. I just don't want to be up till 1:30 a.m. on the East Coast watching these matches. And then as I watch these old school WrestleManias, because this is going to tie into WrestleMania, like what we're talking about, there's 15, 14 matches, and we talk about this every single show. It seems like. And this was something you could have cut out. Like we didn't need Rick Martel and Coco Beware. I wish the old formatting opened up with bangers like they do now. Like they do now in the new age in 2026. They open up with a very important match to get you going. AEW All In did it with Samoa Joe and CM Punk when he was there. There's many, many examples of it. It just seems like they have that old school mentality, which it is old school. It's back in the 1990s. Was this late 80s? What year was it exactly? I don't remember. 1990. April 1st, 1990. So like they saw the mentality of like, okay, let's build up to the main events, but like we didn't need this match, didn't care for this match. It was just there. But we'll get on to, because we do have a big match after that. So I get why they do it.
Can I ask you? I think that's a good point in regards of like if they would have followed the formula of kind of what they do now, throwing a big card, a big match at the top to kind of get you pumped. If you had control, right? What match, now that you've seen it, what match would you have said, okay, this is going to be the first match? And of course, the main event being the main event, but what would be like, what match would you have taken? Like, let's say you move it up to the first match of the card to kind of get everybody pumped up for it.
So for this one exactly,
yeah, you were looking at this card. What would you have moved up to number one? To
Dusty.
Okay, I like that.
That's the perfect opening match. When I saw that match, when I saw the tag team match come, I said, man, this would have been an opening match that would have got everyone hyped. You get the we'll get there, but you get the involvement of Miss Elizabeth that will get the crowd hyped. You got Dusty, who's already going to get the crowd going. You got Macho King, who's got the, that match was perfect for an opening match because it would have got everybody excited in the pop of Miss Elizabeth. Like that would have been it. That's what you would have started that match, the card with. But we'll get there.
We're going to get there. And I just want to say, Justin saying, FYI, Josh, right now there are 3 matches on Dynasty pre-show, but 9 for the main pay-per-view. So not so much. Not as much.
The day is still young, bro. He's got a couple more lines to hit before he adds to the card. I don't know, man. Like I really want to watch this card, though. Like, they got some bangers, but let's stick to WrestleMania.
Let's stick to WrestleMania. Go ahead.
Hold on. So after this match, because I wrote down, I don't know how in depth your notes are, but they had an interview, and I wrote down, Mean Gene is talking with the Haku, talking about the Haku and Giant. They're going about the Crush Demolition, yada yada yada. And I wrote, then Demolition's interviewed. They make funny faces. Axe cuts an inspired promo. I don't get it. He looks like an accountant. Axe looks like an accountant. Like, he looks like my accountant. I can't get past Axe. Smash I can buy as like the crazy guy. Like, that's all he does. And then while the accountant dude just screams into the mic, like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying. I just don't get it. But I will say, I can't deny the fact that they are over. They were over. This match, they were one of the most over acts on the entire card. They almost got this biggest pop as Warrior and Hogan. I'm serious. Like, I was watching this card, sober, middle of the day, going, these guys have, like, the fans just want them to win. And, you know, it was just Haku the entire match. Andre didn't get involved, obviously. He couldn't move much. When he did get involved, he was slow. He stayed on the ringside. That was the story of the match, though. Bobby Heenan said it after when, you know, Andre turned babyface. He just stood there. He didn't even help Haku. Haku was doing everything, which, watching the match, I was going, yeah, Haku's doing literally everything. We see the tag team championships go to Demolition. The crowd went freaking bananas. Andre has the angle afterwards where he goes babyface after Bobby the Heenan brain smacks him in the face. Like, what do you think about this match? And Andre's this was his last match, his last WrestleMania match.
This was it was his last WrestleMania active wrestler in WWE. And, you know, obviously him not being too involved in the live match made a lot of sense. And Haku was perfect to carry that match for them. Andre had a few spots here and there. So I got it. I understood it. I'll tell you what, I know that everybody will look back at that finale, you know, after Bobby Heenan was all upset and he smacks Andre for kind of getting mixed up in the ropes, which was always Andre's spot, you know, the falling ropes, he had his hands tied up, kind of give him some, you know, it's classic Andre, but everyone's going to remember the phantom smack, you know, the backward smack, but taking that spot out, it was an awesome spot, you know, where Andre finally goes like, did you just hit me? Like, you know, and Bobby sold it well. Andre looks scary looks scary all of a sudden again. Like, you know, Haku tried to super kick Andre and Andre caught his foot and Haku's like, oh crap. And Andre was dominant. Like, yeah, you know, you look at the match and you're like, man, Andre, man, damn, dude, from what he was to what he is then. And we know what's about to happen a few years down the line. And this is his last WrestleMania active WWE. But like, I think that was a perfect send-off for him. Like, when I saw that, I was like, we're not going to see Andre now. Like, that's it. So, you know, it's kind of closing that chapter on Andre the Giant. So, the match itself for Andre was kind of like, damn, dude. I mean, at least you see him there, but he's not really. But the way they wrote it out was perfect. You made him look dominant. You know, Haku's trying to run away. Bobby Heenan got punched out again, and Andre's leaving the ring on a cart. And, like, knowing that we're going to jump to the next WrestleMania and Andre won't be there active or whatever, like, it's like, that's the perfect send-off. I love the way they wrote it out. So that's my memory of that match, or how I felt about it. That saved it for me. Yeah,
I agree with it. You explained it perfectly. I also wrote down Haku. Everything he does looks real.
Yes.
He's just physical, man. He's just on it. Great worker. Everything. Even the ridiculous spots with the double karate chops to the neck. Like, that's a ridiculous move that nobody would ever use in a fight. But even that looks like it hurt. Haku was just a tough son of a, if you know what I mean. So I enjoyed everything about this. I actually enjoyed the Demolition portion of this too. It's just their promos, man. It's so 80s. Like, I get they're over. Trust me. Like, I'm not do what you gotta do, guys. Like, you were making tons of money winning tag team champions and getting cheers. it's just if you see that act like today, you just what the heck? Like, what is this? You look at other tag teams like the Hart Foundation or anyone else, they look normal. These guys just look like literally accountant with face paint, and one guy just making goofy faces. But the next match was kind of a squash match.
Yes,
unfortunately.
It was.
Fortunately for Hercules, man. We have Earthquake. Was this his first WrestleMania? It had to be his first WrestleMania.
Yeah. We haven't seen him yet. We just saw. Was it Dark Side of the Ring? Was that the one we saw with him in it? Am I crazy? I thought I saw something on Earthquake. Maybe it was. But yeah, this was our first, appearance of Earthquake, and man, they really sold him well. I mean, going against Hercules, who looks better than he did last WrestleMania. So I was like, oh, well, this is gonna be interesting. This is the first time we see Earthquake, and man, they've made Earthquake look strong and dominant and scary. And can you imagine that girth landing on top of you? And Josh, if you don't know, if you haven't been watching our draft shows, when I talk about offensive linemen, and I'm like, I need him tall, I need him girthy, we need him that big, thick size. It's just like, I saw you look up when I said girth. That is a FTSN draft
all right.
saying, but it was short. It was basically a squash match. But again, they did it right. Earthquake looked like strong. He looked like, damn, don't want to be. I don't know if they were trying to set him up. I know I saw we saw Earthquake and Hogan kind of a moment. I think they were trying to set him up probably to be that next rival. Because I mean, my goodness, they made him look really good.
Yeah. So they said during the commentary, he sent 28 men to the hospitals before Hercules. So I was like, dang, like they actually are building this guy up. He's undefeated. He was undefeated, still is at this point, at this time. So yeah, just beat Hercules. This is a classic squash match to set you up for the big match afterwards, which we didn't get to see. Do you know about this match? Because I didn't know this match happened until I looked it up like 30 seconds ago.
Tell me, because I'm going to feel crazy in a second, because I want you to tell me, because what was it?
Roddy Piper versus Bad News Brown. It never happened. Well, it happened. It just never happened.
It's not there. And I want to say something very quick, because I was about to excuse myself, because I just told Josh, if you watch the channel, I've been live Thursday, Friday, Saturday, doing what we call the Epic Mock. So, and producing the other shows and doing all that, and working on this. I didn't get to watch WrestleMania until starting last night. So I watched it real late in the evening, almost 2 a.m. Started dozing off. So I said, I got to pause it. Woke up like 6 and 7. Started again. And there were times where I was dozing in and out, but I was watching it, and I would pause it and then wait, we're going to go back. And I remember this, but I'm like, I didn't see this. So I was about to tell Josh right now, dude, I probably knocked out at this match because I don't remember seeing it. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue.
No, there's nothing to say except for they cut it out. Netflix cut it out. So I looked into it. And yeah, it's been cut out since Peacock. Peacock actually cut this out whenever they moved the library over to Peacock. So then I dove deeper into like what else has been, cut off of our streaming. Like what else have we not seen? And there's a whole list, and that could be a whole new video of whether you agree on Netflix or Peacock editing the history and cutting out, Chris Benoit matches or cutting out Vince McMahon stuff, or that's a different topic for a different day. So I'm not going to deep dive into that.
I'll just say again, this was a, if you even look it up, it's, remember this. Fernando, thank you, my man. Appreciate you tuning in. But Piper being as great as he is, and we've seen Bad News Brown, he's going into the Hall of Fame. So these are two guys, especially Roddy Piper, two, Hall of Famers. Piper, one of the greatest of all time. I think so. One of the greatest characters, professional wrestlers, one of the greatest never to win a world championship. Should have been a world champion either in WWF or WCW. That's how I feel, even WCW. But I mean, he's still great. But the reason why they did cut this match, more than likely, was it was very controversial. It was a short match. It was ended, I think, in double DQ. And it was because Piper was half blackface. I mean, and so back then was a part of the times. I mean, it's not popular now. It's not right now. And it's not right then, but that's kind of how it was. And Piper was controversial. So instead of saying leave it and, it's a part of the story or whatever, they decided to cut it. So we didn't get to see it. But from all accounts and purposes, from what I remember of it, but even if you go back and read on it, or if you could find it, watch it, wasn't that great. It was controversial. It was short. It was double DQ or double count out. So yeah, so that one is totally skipped, which we get to Beefcake and Mr. Perfect.
No.
No,
Is it no? That's not that. That wasn't the. I have it all in order. I really have it on my iPhone notes. The next match was Mr. Perfect
and Beefcake.
I had Mr. Perfect and Beef. Is that what you said?
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yes. I'm so sorry. I thought you said something totally. I thought you said
you're just like Wingate. You just make me look like I knew it. He did it to me the other day. You two are exactly the same. Bunch of Joshes. Stop joshing me, Josh.
Well, okay. You know what? I try to forget this match, all right? Because I can go off for a second. One of the worst acts. One of the worst acts in this era was Brutus the Beefcake. In my opinion, looking back, how ridiculous and silly this entire persona was. It had potential before he turned into the barber guy. He had potential. He had the body, he had the look. He can cut a promo, but then they made him to a joke. And he's the guy you decide to snap the perfect streak. He's the guy, him, of all people. Brutus, where did this go? Where did this elevate? What was next for Brutus? If he did get a world championship match and he's a champion somewhere that I didn't hear about or anything, please let me know. Because I don't know the history, but I don't think it went there. And what happened to Mr. Perfect? What a ridiculous booking decision. I don't know who decided this. I don't know if TKO went back in time and did this because they thought, they had to. I don't know what happened. But this was a terrible decision. Mr. Perfect should have not, in that way too. The way he lost was so flat. It was just like it was not even anything. It was just it wasn't even special. It didn't mean anything. It just, the crowd was like, what? Huh? What just happened? That's what it felt like, Bobby.
Shout out to Fernando, man. I appreciate you watching. I'm glad you just brought that point up there in the comments about it pays to be Hogan's best friend. So I want to say, first of all, well, I have a lot to say on this match, but I want to say this. Like, you look at the character. You look at how now again, the character was over with the fans. You could tell the fans were big on Beefcake. It's absolutely all McMahon at that point. WCW pays to be Hogan's best friend. He becomes the what the hell was he called? Then the apostle, the disciple, or whatever, the acolyte, whatever the hell he was. I'm trying to remember. But here, I'm watching this, and obviously he's still over. McMahon is still posting him on WrestleMania. He's having a major match with a major opponent, in my opinion. Again, there's my favorite wrestlers that I grew up watching. I was like, I'm a huge fan of Hogan and Savage and Flair. But then there were pro wrestlers that I absolutely loved watching in the ring. And Mr. Perfect was right there with Arn Anderson and Scott Hall. And, those are professional wrestlers that had great matches. But we're at the major guys. Piper's one of the greatest. Not Piper, excuse me. Mr. Perfect in-ring guy. He can make anybody look good. And in that match, he did everything possible to make Brutus Beefcake look good. He sold his moves. You could tell at the very beginning when they got that corner spot, Beefcake was kind of confused, and Perfect had to save him there and made a big thing. Like, I'm watching Perfect, and I'm like, he is perfect. Like, he is so freaking good in the ring. And I'm watching Beefcake, and I'm going, what a clusterfuck. With all respect, the character worked. I get it. Now looking back, like as adults, we're kind of like, what a goofy thing, kind of like back in the day, and no hate. I get it. You did what you did. You got the job. You performed it well. You made a great living. Good for you. But it's like, you look back and you go, like, man, like Eugene, Santino, and, you think of these crazy characters that, you look back and you go, what a goofy ass character. And I think of that with Brutus Beefcake. Goofy as hell. For back then, the really good look, right? He had the look. Obviously, McMahon liked him. It wasn't more about, I think it was more McMahon than it was Hogan in regard to, because he's pushing him on these cards and putting him against a good opponent. But I agree with you. What the hell was the point of having him take out the perfect streak? There was no point. You could have used this on anybody else. We could throw a name out there, but I don't know. I'm like, the more I watch a Beefcake, the more I get why as much hate it was like Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff would say that. Bischoff, who was one of Hogan's best friends and loved Hogan. But he's like, the only reason why Beefcake had a job was because of Hulk Hogan. That's why he was in WCW. And I get it. But I get, again, I see the look of Beefcake. I see the character going over with the young fans, so I understand it. But when you put him in the ring with someone like Mr. Perfect, who can make anybody look good, he can make a broomstick look good. But Mr. Perfect is struggling with someone like Beefcake. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
I also noted Gorilla Monsoon doesn't know how 360 degrees works. Listen, commentary is the best part of all these WrestleManias. This Gorilla
100%.
and Jesse are just the jabs they take at each other about the hot dogs and just the whole. If you watch it, and I didn't fast forward much this time. I just fast forward a couple things, like as far as like the Volkov segments, which we're gonna get into. Like anytime that stupid comedian guy with that's telling terrible jokes, fast forward. But as far I don't know where I was going. Oh, the commentary, they were top notch. The commentators today have no idea what they're doing. The chemistry
100%.
that Jesse and Gorilla had, unmatched. You couldn't match it, man. Just the way they played off each other without cracking up or trying to make each other pop. Like you could tell Jesse was trying to get to Gorilla to snap, break, and Gorilla just stood straight the whole time. It was magic. And during the matches, like every time Gorilla, or we'll get into the Dusty match soon, but every time the good guys cheat or lay a hand on another sex they're not supposed to, Gorilla's like, that's what they deserve. And Jesse's like, but that's not the rules. And then when the bad guys do it, Gorilla's like, yeah. Jesse's like, well, they deserve it. They did it first. Like stuff like that. We don't get these days, man. We just don't get them. Like Wade Barrett tries his best, but it's just not the same. It's just different. But
I want to say very quick. I love that you said that. I've always told you that I really enjoy the commentary of Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. I love those two guys together. But Gorilla Monsoon and the Body are like right there. If 1A, 1B, you put either one there. Like again, these WrestleManias, going back and watching this and listening to them, like now I'm like I have like distorted memory. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it was Bobby Heenan and Gorilla, who I loved, and I love listening to them. I've listened to them, but Gorilla and Jesse the Body, it's right there. He was so damn good, and you're 100% right. And that's why it's so tough. Like, I understand Jim Ross and Jerry the King. They were great. And again, just nostalgic reasons, and I'm a WCW kid, if you want to call that, Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan and Mike Tenay. But when people are like, oh, Michael Cole and Michael Cole and, whoever, I'm like, they don't touch Gorilla. I'm sorry. They don't touch Gorilla.
Does.
I'm sorry.
Nobody ever has.
Yeah.
Nobody ever has. All right. Next match, the Hart Foundation versus the boring Volkov people. Gosh, this was over in 30 seconds, as it should have been.
19 seconds.
Highlighted the Hart Foundation. It is what it is. Can't wait to see till Brett breaks off and we see bigger things, but there's not much to talk about here. Like, no, it is what it is. Unfortunately, Bobby, the next match was the Barbarian Tito Santana, and this was a match where I couldn't get into. Didn't care about Barbarian. Knew Tito Santana was on his like the older era. Like, I'm ready for the new era. And the Barbarian is new era. It just wasn't from me. When you already see big guys like we saw earlier in the card, we saw Earthquake. Another big guy is not going to do it for me. And that's what this felt like. Oh, how many big guys are you going to push on one card? How many of this can I see? I already saw this. So I was very uninterested. We already saw the new big monster. We already saw it like 4 matches ago. So I was very uninterested in this match because it felt like the Temu version of Earthquake. Like Barbarian, I don't know who they had more push into or more investment in, but it seemed like Earthquake felt more important. Barbarian, I didn't get into at all. How did you feel?
So this is one of these matches, respectfully. First of all, Tito Santana, again, great. I mean, and he's way ahead of his time. And I was watching those drop kicks were flawless. I mean, every time I was watching them. There's some guys who do drop kicks, and who did that? I think, and I'm not knocking him, but Rick Rude. Was it Rick Rude? I think Rick Rude did a drop kick, but he landed flat on his back. the Jimmy Snuka, where we'll talk about that a little later on. But which is fine. Rude was great. He's good. But Tito Santana, I mean, he drop kick and he would flip right back to almost to his legs. I mean, it was ridiculous how good he was. But I agree. This was one of these matches, as you would famously say, could have been left off the card. I mean, Barbarian, I know Barbarian, he was great with Haku and Mang back in the day as a tag team. I think those two were perfect for each other. That was a scary tag team. You didn't want to face them. But yeah, I there's not much really to say on this match. Barbarian does beat Tito Santana 4 minutes. But this was one of these matches like the early one, possibly it could have been left off.
It's just like you see it now in WWE where someone like a Tito Santana, like think about someone today in today's age in wrestling. You're like, oh, that's the AJ Styles had this role before his retirement tour. Oh, that's AJ Styles, but we know he's just there to lose to the younger talent. That's what I felt like this match. Just a glorified squash match that could have been on some other television. Then I woke up because we got Dusty Rhodes cutting a promo. And then we had Randy Macho Man screaming, doing his thing. And I'm like, okay, it's about to go down. Do I know who Sapphire is? No idea who this lady
Sapphire,
is.
Sapphire, man. Was
she the worst wrestler in the history of the world? Most likely, yes. Most likely, did she belong in the ring? I don't know who she is, but she was horrible. But Dusty and Macho and Sherry
was awesome,
and Elizabeth all did a great job entertaining the fan. This was again one of the most over matches on the card.
This was in all intents and purposes was one of the best matches. It was a lot of fun. Got the fans rowdy. I mean, the great Dusty freaking Rhodes, Randy Savage, Macho King, and then Sherry. Like this, it's been 2 WrestleMania since we've seen women on the card. I mean, and this was perfect. Sherry, I remember her from the Harlem Heat. That was what I remember her. And I remember the classic moment between her and Macho King, and then Elizabeth comes in the ring. That happens later. But Sherry was one of the greatest of all time, and she's a Hall of Famer. But, and I remember as the manager of Harlem Heat. But this right here showed why she was one of the greatest. I mean, she knew how to tell a freaking story in the ring, and she was really good for that time frame. Sapphire did her part. She and Sherry made her look made her look good. She bumped for her. She made it look like it hurt, whatever. But she was a civilian. Sapphire was a civilian, and Dusty Rhodes was the common man, and he wanted to bring her along. And so, but it worked. Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire worked so much so that Sapphire, you may say, who's Sapphire? But it's still talked about to this day. I know who Sapphire is. I remember Sapphire. I was shocked when I learned that was really only all she did. But Dusty Rhodes, man, it's always awesome seeing Dusty Rhodes in the ring. He's so freaking great. And for his size, and you're watching him, it's like, man, you're jiving, you're dancing, you're getting into it. And then Savage, he was flawless. This was a great match overall. Entertaining for the fans, but also entertaining for those who love wrestling to see those two guys at it, and then seeing Sherry do what she does. I can't stop talking about this. I love this match. I loved it. Yep. I absolutely loved it.
I love the commentary. I love the promos. I love the swag of this match. I love Dusty. Some things I wrote from commentary as I was watching this match. Jesse wants men to beat up women with his quote, with their equal right movements. He wants men to be able to beat them up. So there's that. Jesse calls Sapphire fat multiple times. Like, what are we but let's cut out the Roddy Piper match and let's cut out other things, but it's okay to say these nasty things. Okay, all right, cool.
He was a heel. It's true.
And I understand. Trust me, it's wrestling. It's a fake TV show.
I know.
And also I just wanted to say, yes, Dusty Rhodes is the first person to touch the woman. He was the first one to throw a woman and be physical with him. So yes, Jesse was right the whole time. It was they were the bad guys, and Macho King and Sherry were just wrestling a clean match. It was just so much fun. Like, and Jesse added to it. Like, Jesse and Gorilla added to it. Every time there was a moment where Dusty grabs Sherry so Sapphire can smack her for the first time. And Gorilla, good for them. Well, They're breaking the rules. I don't know about that. I didn't see that. It's just like everything when Miss Elizabeth got involved. I didn't see her get involved. Oh, you must have been scarfing down another hot dog, Gorilla. All this was a fun match. This is how you do an entertaining match, guys. You don't just throw Pat McAfee in there.
And I'll say too, and Miss Elizabeth did a great job. Her involvement, when it was so cool seeing her grab Sherry and throw her back in the ring, and then she's having fun in the ring. Like I was like, you could see how the importance she had for that era. And again, can't say enough about Sherry. Sammy, tuning in, appreciate Finn. Sammy, co-host of Finn's Talk Today with me, the flagship show on FTSN. Saying Sapphire was Dusty's #1 fan. They broke Sapphire's heart when she got fired after SummerSlam. She died some years after. So there's some sad bio there, but yeah, no, Miss Elizabeth she should have been in the Hall of Fame yesterday. And by yesterday, I mean decades ago. It's ridiculous to people who aren't. And then some others who are. Like, it don't make sense with some of the dummies who are in or had nothing to do with anything, yet some of the greatest of all time are not in. Would never make sense. But anyway, next one we got another tag match. You got the Orient Express, Sato and Pat Tanaka with Mr. Fuji, taking on the Rockers, Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. This one went for 7 minutes, 38 seconds, according to the clock. But honestly, not much to say. I was only watching one team, and one person really was Shawn Michaels. And you, again, waiting for that when a time comes. And I mean, you could see why people love that tag team, and you could see why people, especially the back to the front office, started, getting in on Shawn Michaels. The count out thing again, that was one thing that I was like, I didn't even see it. I was too fast for me to even realize what had happened. I like the spot. I like the whole smoke, and Jannetty sells it really well. The powder in the eyes, and I think he grabs it. He's going like this, and he falls over the railing. He sold it great, But the count out thing was kind of dumb.
I agree. The count out thing sucked. Like Maria says, this was one of my favorite matches on the card. It could have been, had potential to be, but the ending ruins. If an ending can ruin a TV show or a TV series, or an ending can ruin a movie, an ending can ruin a match, and this is what happened here. They got the dust, the thing in the eyes. Look, I understand you want to protect both teams for some reason. I guess I wasn't in that era. I don't understand why you want to protect the Orient Express, although they did win at a count out. You could have had him do the powder thing in the ring and then have him get pinned 1, 2, 3. It wouldn't have hurt Jannetty. Wouldn't have hurt him. No. So, whatever. The next match sucks too. Just want to throw it out there. Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Dino Bravo. Confused with the presentation of Hacksaw. Jesse called it out right away. Well, I always knew he was an idiot, Gorilla, but he's coming out here with an American flag. He's the baby face, and are they going ho or are they going boo? I think 70% of the crowd is booing him because he has the American flag, and he's the baby face, Bobby. This is crazy. What was that decision?
I don't know. I really don't. And again, this was another one where I felt you probably could have left this one off. If they had a pre-show, they did. They had one match that wasn't on the card, which was Roma versus Brooklyn Brawler. This probably should have been one of them. I didn't really pay attention at all to this, to be honest with you.
Man,
I saw the shot. I saw the shot with the 2x4. I saw that spot, and Hacksaw was always fun for me. I always enjoyed watching Hacksaw. He was just fun. But
I watched this whole match, and it was just a big physical match, like as you would expect. And again, didn't matter. There was no stakes. It was just babyface versus heel. No stakes involved, like that I could tell. So if you guys are a big fan of this match, I apologize. I'm not going to break down the Hacksaw match versus Dino freaking Bravo. But this next match, I will.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had a realization, an epiphany, as they say, that if I was a wrestling fan, like in my prime back then, without a doubt, besides Rowdy Piper, Ted DiBiase would be my favorite wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
By far.
I get that.
He is one of my, like, as I'm watching these WrestleManias and I'm understanding how good of a shape, like, I don't like big wrestlers that just have no definition. I always thought he was that guy. I don't know why. But I'm like, wait a minute. No, he was actually in shape. He actually looked good. His wrestling moves looked real. his moves looked real. Everything he did looked real. When he put that, didn't he do the pile driver? That was freaking savage. Ted DiBiase is my guy. I love this guy, and this feud was perfect. He buys himself a belt. Jake Roberts is cutting a promo saying, I'm the everyday man, just kind of whatever. But all that money can go to charity. Like, this was the perfect story for these two guys, because Jake looks like that guy, and Ted DiBiase was the rich guy, and the right guy won. But in my opinion, a bad finish. Count out was a bad finish. Bad. They should have had 1, 2, 3. Do you agree with that?
Yes, 100% agree with that. Again, going back and watching these WrestleManias has been such a treat, especially to go back, because you have these preconceived notions of these guys, oh, this guy was so great, or this guy was so bad, and or this guy was boring, and then you watch him like, oh no, I get it. I like $1 Million Man. I love him now. Watching these going back, again, WrestleMania 4 where he was the MVP. We call him the MVP. Was the tournament.
Yep.
But this WrestleMania 6, this match, and same thing to Jake Roberts, two guys that you grow to really appreciate going back and watching them. I mean, and I think they were the second longest match on the card. I think so.
Forever, dude. This match was a long match, and it was good.
But it was good though. It felt long because it was like it told a great story for both these guys, and they were so good. And Virgil was great. Virgil on the outside, he made it matter. Yeah, man. He was so damn good. He was so damn good, and I agree. He was the right one to win. I hate the count out. Again, I'm not a fan of the count out. If it's done right, sure. This one wasn't done right. I think Ted DiBiase probably should have snuck a win here, and that probably would have been better if you want to try to protect Roberts. But yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, and I fast forward through the very end because I didn't want to see the snake again. That's full disclosure. Like, as soon as the match ended,
I'm gonna be honest. That snake, I watched. Again, I always now that I see the snake thing, it did. He grabbed it and chased Virgil outside, and I think DiBiase was hiding under the ring. But
is that how he got under the ring? Because
I never saw him get under it. But it happened immediately after that match. I thought he ran to the back. I didn't know he was hiding back there. But I didn't see the snake move. I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't know if it was a real snake at that point. I swear, I saw the snake get thrown out, and he carried the snake out and ran to the back. And I did not see one sliver. I said, please don't let Josh see that. I don't know if that snake's alive.
I fast forwarded it.
But Jake Roberts should have been a champion for sure. He's there with Piper. I think so. Especially, he didn't have the traditional look, but he had the character, he had the fans, and he had the work. DiBiase should have definitely had a longer run. Like, when I thought about it, like, I understand why. I mean, you think of Warrior, and they look at Warrior and they go, we need someone else to carry the load, right? We need someone else to be that guy. And you're coming off of Hogan, and Hogan is such a mega personality, and everybody's watching whatever. But like me, like, now I look back, I'm watching DiBiase and I'm watching Robert. Like, DiBiase could have had a year run as the champion, and then whoever's babyface could have took over. Like, I'm thinking, like, if they were like safe and they're like, hey, we could afford not having maybe Hogan as a champion for a year. Maybe we could, you could easily thrown in on one of those guys and been good, or Piper or whatever. But I understand it. Like, I get it, because they're 6 years in. They have this mega thing. They don't want to lose the push, if you want to call it. But those guys, they could have been, and I would have loved to see DiBiase as the world champion. He would have been such a great heel champion, buying wins. I would have loved a story where, like, he has this mega, here's a world title match, and he pays the opponent to lose, and you find out, like, that would have been cool. But anyway, moving on, we got, you talk about girth, Big Boss Man taking on Akeem.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this should be fun. This is going to be different. This is big. These are two former tag team going at it. This was short. 2 minutes, just short of 2 minutes.
Should have been short.
Yeah. What do you think?
Should have been short. I don't understand the I guess the booking of this match. So here's what I thought was going to happen. You get Ted DiBiase coming out because Big Boss Man cut the promo of I don't take no one's money. I'm not bought. I'm a police officer, blah, blah. You know, because this whole, I'm a humble man every day, this. And then he gets beat up by $1 Million Man at the beginning of this match, you know, and he gets thrown into the post and he gets beat down, right? He gets beat down. And he comes back and beats Akeem. Like, I understand we're about to get this run of Big Boss Man, but I thought we were going to go a different way. I'm like, oh, cool. We're going to push Akeem here, Big Boss Man, squash match. No, Boss Man gets the win. And I guess that was the right call, but I want to be honest with y'all. I didn't care. I didn't care because I was not, I just expressed this last week on last week's show. I'm not a big fan of like these big boss man gimmicks. To me, it's lame. I wish his name was like Jeff, whatever, Jeff Bossman, right? And then have a cop persona. I like realism more than just like, oh, he's the Canadian, the Mountie, he's the big. To me, it's just ridiculous. It only works with a select few.
It worked. I get it. I know what you're trying to say, but it worked. Yeah.
It did in that time. It did, but like I'm looking back in the future, and I'm from the future, and looking to the past, going, "Don't work for me, brother." Like Hogan says. Hogan probably said to Warrior, "Oh, that finish don't work for me, brother. I got to kick out of your finish a couple times, brother. You don't kick out of mine though, ever once, but I got to kick out of yours." Remember that he didn't kick out of that leg drop.
He moved out of the way. He never hit the leg drop.
He moved out of the way. He didn't kick out though.
You can't.
That match would have been perfect. I just want to say
That
this
was a great
before
one.
we get into it. If he would have kicked out of that, if he would have kicked out of a leg drop, it would have been by far the #1 match in WrestleMania history up to this point for us. I was waiting for the kick out, but he moved. That is less eventful. We're not even there yet. Can we move on to Rick Rude and
You have
Jimmy
a question
Snuka?
here. I have a question.
Okay. No, I don't hate Obafemi. Why would I hate Obafemi?
I guess because he's big. I don't know.
But his name is Obafemi, not like big African man or whatever. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, his name is Obafemi. But he's not like some, oh, I'm just whatever. You know, he's Obafemi.
Big mole cop. You know,
I am afraid he's going to lose to Brock, though. I think Brock's going over, which will have the WrestleMania previews. I'll be on Ruckus Wrestling with Justin Toner and Josh Mabry coming up this week, I believe on the 16th. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe
and then we're going to be on the Rainy Day podcast with Adrian. WrestleMania, I believe, day 1. I don't know. Bobby's booking me for these shows. I'm going to be there, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for all this stuff.
I want to preference though. I'm asking before I say yes. I always check, but I will say I cannot wait. You're right. I have a feeling that may be where it's going to go, and I'll tell you the way they've built this match so far. Better. They're building way better than a lot of the other matches that are on this card, especially a very important one. And I will say though, like if they do have it that way, they're doing it right then now. Like even though like if they they should have do it reverse, right? Brock dominating Oba all the way through or every time, and then Oba gets on top. But the way it's been going, I see what you're saying. I feel that way too. But maybe that leads to something bigger, and I'm okay with it. I'm really looking forward to watching those two. I don't know what the finish is going to be, as long as someone wins. But I'm going to tell you, that's one of those matches that I'm really looking for because Brock has sold so much. He looks so, and I know we're going off board, but I'm doing this because I don't get a chance to really do this with Josh right now. But until we get our show, but what Brock has done in this story and the way Oba has looked, I'm really pumped to see what the match is going to look like. And I'm going to tell you right now, if Brock goes over, I'm okay with it because I think that's going to lead to a bigger thing for Oba later on. If Oba goes over, great. I love Obafemi, and I can't wait to watch what I hope he skyrockets. But I don't want to see the end of this story at WrestleMania. I want to see that continue. I love seeing these behemoths go at it.
People are going to be very upset. That's all I can say. And they're putting it on the first match of either night 1 or night 2 on ESPN. Brock ain't going to lose on ESPN in front of all these people. 100%. So, all right, Rick Rude versus Jimmy Snuka, which I don't remember Jimmy Snuka ever being that freaking jacked. Like, what in the world? You can't have. I understand Rick Rude was billed as like the most ripped guy. Jesse the Body Ventura said he won the body award for the best body. All the girls are there to see him every time he comes out. They try to find a close shot of the cutest girl they can find, and maybe she's paying attention. This one, she did not. She actually turned her head and was looking somewhere else. Bad job, camera guy. But Jimmy Snuka was probably more ripped than Rick Rude. So it's hard to book someone who you're billing as the most ripped guy against someone who's more in shape. Be that as it may, this was an enhancement match.
Yeah.
Rick Rude was never going to lose this match. It was cool to see, I guess, Jimmy Snuka in that shape wrestle like that. But again, and they had that terrible comedian on the commentary the whole time. Terrible. Oh, I hate Jimmy Snuka because he looks like he's wearing my wife's underwear. That was a joke. That was a joke that was said on TV.
I will say, the TV was on mute. I finished it this very early in the morning. Wife was sleeping, so I was able to mute it and watch it. So I didn't hear the commentary, and maybe thank goodness.
Oh, you're lucky.
But
you're lucky.
Yeah, but I will say again, Rick Rude, another one who could have been a world champion. He did have a good run as IC champion. This was entertaining. I could watch a Rick Rude match. He was good. He was fun. His character was funny. But I'll tell you, I was very impressed with Jimmy Snuka. My first time actually getting a chance to remember, or at least to remember, to see him not as that old man walking in the ring and having a little spot, but actually see him in a match. And it wasn't bad. He did good, and he was in phenomenal shape for back then. And he did the funny Rick Rude dance and everything, which I thought was hilarious. And so I was able to just enjoy it on a mute standpoint. But it was all right. It was, like you said, an enhancement match. That's all it was.
Listen, it was the 90s, Maria. It was 1990. And on top of that, the comedian they had was awful. He told like the worst jokes. Like it was bad. It was bad. I'm glad they never had. I don't know. Hopefully they never have him again. He was bad. But either way, we had the next match. I have a lot to say. A lot to say.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes. Go right ahead.
So I tried to before a match happens. I hit pause to see. Okay, where am I at? I hit pause because it's the main event. I'm like, we have 36 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Warrior's going to go 30 minutes because I took the part like, oh, I know. I don't know the story. Is there a behind the scenes story?
No, in the ring story. I mean, you could say behind the scenes, but it's in the ring.
Okay. All right. So I'm thinking, because I haven't seen this match. Like I've seen bits and pieces. I know the Warrior wins. Like I know that. I'm not surprised by the ending. I know who wins. So I'm like, how was he going to go this long? I heard all of his matches were squash matches. I'm not a big fan of Warrior at all. Man, even though this match dragged in these spots where Hogan had him in a chin lock for at least 5 minutes, or Warrior has him in this God-forsaken bear hug for 5 minutes, and Hogan doesn't understand. Hey, maybe if I just smash him with my fist in his ears, he might let go. But instead, Hogan's just like, maybe I'll just slick my arms in between them. No, just smash his ears in, brother. It's not that difficult. But the crowd was in it the whole time, dude. I can't explain it. I can't explain when Warrior gets him down in the stupid hand-holding contest. And they go crazy. I'm going, this wouldn't work today. But for some reason, these fans, these sickos, it freaking worked. And I'm sitting there going,
that's when you can tell. But that's how you could say too, because we're talking about how the new era is about to come. But that's how you can tell that and especially as we get into WrestleMania 7 and even the WrestleMania 9, where maybe now you go, man, why did they do this with this? Like we were just talking about Ted DiBiase and Jake Roberts, and why didn't Piper? Why didn't they get the title? Well, because it still worked with Hogan. Hogan still had the fans in the palm of his hand. I mean, he controlled the audience, and the story was, first off, again, what's the official time? 22 minutes on this match. 22 minutes. Hogan and Warrior was a very entertaining match. It did have spots, right? I mean, it was, and again, that's all the hate Hogan could get. Again, he sold really well. He made everybody, minus the finally when he finally kicked out, started going Hogan. Hulking up. He sold really well. And it was an entertaining match. But the reason why, and you see it right at the top of the match, and Hogan talked about it. It's one of those things where you're like, is that real? And then you find out, yeah, no, it was a true story. Hogan told a lot of stories. And I'm really looking forward to that Netflix documentary, by the way, the Hogan documentary that's coming out. We're going to spotlight that on the show.
Yep.
We talked about it. But the story was, and Justin might remember, Maria, I don't know if you guys saw that. I'm sure Justin has. And where Hogan was talking about when they got in that match, they had it kind of planned out what was going to go down. But about very early on in that match, Warrior wanted to go home, quote unquote, go home. Let's go home. He was gassed. He was done. He told Hogan, and Hogan was telling, brother, we're not going home. We have a whole match. Like, what are you talking about? And that's what made Hogan Hogan. Like, people can say whatever they want about his in-ring stuff and all that whatnot. He knew how to deliver. He knew how to sell. He knew what to give. But the other thing that Warrior did that Hogan didn't do was Warrior ran to the ring. Let's go home, brother. Let's go home. And Hogan's like, what are you talking about? Go home. So that's why you saw those Hogan holds and the Warrior doing the bear hug, because catch your breath, because you got a whole lot more to do. So, and again, it worked for those reasons, because you're like, man, back to, these things where you go, I'm gonna bend your arm this way. No, now you're gonna bend me this way. I'm gonna come back up. Oh, back now it would be like, I was thinking about that. Fans would be like, boring, because they want to see the little flips with the brooms and the gymnastics and the gymnasium and Osprey, they want to see all that.
I'm about to buy this stuff. Right?
This is when wrestling was wrestling. This is when it was just, this is entertainment. We're here to watch a show, tell the story. Now it's like, I'm a geek. I want to see. No, just watch the match and shut up and enjoy the story. And that's what those fans were doing. And Hogan was and Warrior were telling a story, and they were But that's what it was. It was killing the time, letting it go.
So let me step in here. I'm not going to. I'm not slandering no new age, whatever indie wrestling you were explaining. But it's true though. Like tonight on Dynasty, you will see as many super kicks in one match tonight than you would have seen in the first decade of WrestleManias combined. You will. It's going to happen tonight, and because they do so much, and it's overload. And this is the problem with today's AEW, today's wrestling pay-per-views. Yeah. It's like the first match was awesome, so it's going to blend into the next match and the next match. And they did a table spot and they did a super kick, and everyone's doing the same damn spots. And it's just one long, continuous pay-per-view match. And it feels like it's all, and I can't remember what happened in match 3 because it's all just blended together. In this match, I'll remember for the rest of my life because I had moments to think about what just happened. He just had Hogan down in for the first time ever. Probably he was down there. Holy crap! And they held it for a while for them to think for them to understand he's down there. Go ahead, Bobby.
No, I just want to say very quick with that spot there. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. My brain will forget. But very quick, that spot we're going like this and this. Again. I'm an old school guy, right? I feel like I could enjoy the matches now, but I am an old school guy where I sold for that. I remember when Hogan would do that even in Hollywood, in NWO Hollywood, where he would do this and he would overpower because there's still Hulk Hogan, and Hogan then he would start freaking, and all of a sudden Hogan would kick him, and I would start laughing. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that. So it worked, and like you said, you're like, how the fans popping for this? That's how it was back then. And Sammy says it right. No one sells any moves today. The super kick, when Haku super kicked the Giant. And the Giant falls into the rope and is tied up. Back now, if the Haku super kicks the Giant looks at him like that and like, what is it? And I agree. Hogan did carry that match. I mean, Warrior was a great character, but you could see in that match, you could tell, and I remember when Hogan said that, he said, I told him, Hogan said, slow down. Let's take it home. We're not taking it home. Stop. This is WrestleMania. This is the Super Bowl. We're not going home. And again, he did it. It ended up being a great match. It was a historical match. Like you said, it left you thinking, because there's a lot of wrestling now where you're going like, every match is kind of the same, unless you get to the main event with the main guys, but a lot of it's the same now. Oh, flips, high spot. Who could have the biggest high spot? Dave Meltzer set 5 stars here. And the one that actually told the story that gets 2 stars. So that must matter. Back then it was telling a story, and this match told a story. One thing I'll tell you, you were talking about the leg drop, not the kick out. Because I now remember why you said that was because of the last show, the last pay-per-view with Savage. But where it did move out of the way there, which again, you still kind of protect the leg drop. Like, hey, this is a devastating. But that's what wrestling was back then. You got to protect those major type of moves. Now, what's something that the Warrior did that nobody did to Hogan? He basically hulked up Hogan, and Hogan sold it. He started going like this to the ropes, like Batista, and Hogan's like boom, and Hogan's jabbing him in the ribs, and he's second win, and Hogan's like looking at the crowd going, like Hogan always did that. He was going like, what, whoa, like, and it was awesome. Like it was like, and then they're like, oh crap, did Hogan never get, because the leg drop, did he never do it? Like now it just started clicking. Like I remember that. I remember a leg drop. Am I crazy? And then they had that, and then Hogan started finally hulking up, and now Warrior's like, and then here's the miss, and it was perfect though. Like you say, he didn't hit the leg drop, but that was perfect because he moves out of the way right at the last moment. Hogan, and Hogan's like bending back. Warrior gets right up, goes, it takes advantage, big splash, 1, 2, 3, match is over. Hogan kicked out right at the or right after 3. Hogan moves his leg, so it's like, wait, I wasn't done. And Hogan's of course like this, and I would tell you, like again, I didn't do the rating thing like you, but if I had, now that I think about I think this was my favorite WrestleMania out of the 6 we've covered so far. And I mean, again, yeah, there was a lot of matches. Some matches could have left off, but Dusty Rhodes and Randy Savage with Sapphire and Sherry and Elizabeth, Ted DiBiase and Roberts, Ultimate Warrior and Hogan wrapping it up. Like it was a great WrestleMania with an awesome main event, and even at the end, like, you're like, okay, I see it. I can see why they're going to go Warrior, right? Or why the idea was going Warrior. When you hear the stories after, like, I know why it probably wasn't the right time or he wasn't the right guy, but I see it with the fans. The fans are going nuts. They were cheering. They were going wild. Hogan's, like, this is it. Like, I'm riding up. Of course, we know, well, I'm not going to say that because I don't know if you do know, but, well, you do know. But some stuff you may know. But still, I thought it was a great WrestleMania. It was a great ending. Loved it. Number 1, where is it ranked now in your top 6?
Bobby, this one is slam dunk for me. This was by far the best, most entertaining WrestleMania I have ever seen up to this date, like up to WrestleMania 6. Trust me, there's better ones out there, which we're going to go over later on down the year. But this one, to me, you said it all. It had the star power, had the match power. As the years go on, the matches will get better. They'll start making more sense. The commentary just seemed like Jesse and Gorilla, this was their peak performance. This was, I think Justin or someone said it earlier in the chat, this was their best commentary show that they've ever done up to WrestleMania 6, what I've heard from them. To me, top to bottom, when you have the interview segments, the matches, the match quality, the false finishes. Guys, there was false finishes in this card. Like, we're starting to see false finishes. Yes, I'm mad that Warrior did not kick out of the leg drop, and we saw Hulk Hogan kick out of 2 finishes and 2 WrestleManias in a row. I'm mad about that. I really am. I'm mad that Hogan made the end about him. I'm mad that he kicked out at 2.99 on to make himself go over. And then as soon as he gets up, the camera is showing him and not Warrior. He goes out and gets the belt. Makes it all about him. I wasn't a fan of that, which I know Bobby glossed over real quick because he didn't want to hear me bitch about it, but I wasn't going to not bitch about it. Hogan made it all about him still in a loss. That's Hogan. We expect that now in these days. But top to bottom, best WrestleMania we've seen up to date. He did, Bobby. The whole ending was all about him. Oh, here's my belt. You deserve it, brother.
It's a passing of the torch. It's a torch. McMahon could have easily said as Hogan was going down the ramp, focus on Warrior. He didn't. He focused on Hogan. Hogan was the hero going out. Warrior was the new guy. That's passing the torch. You're just Hogan hating, brother. You know damn well that's the right way to go. Okay, you focus on the hero leaving. Oh my gosh, this is the end of an era, which it couldn't because Warrior can't hold a stick to Hulk Hogan. Couldn't carry what Hulk Hogan carried. None of them really could at that point in time. Savage couldn't do it. They tried to do it with Savage, didn't work. They tried to do it with Warrior, it didn't work. So and it didn't work for a little while later after that either. So I get it. I understood it. It was the way it was written. But McMahon, the leader of wrestling, the wrestling god, as JBL would call it. He's the one who calls these things. He's the one who's like, hey, Hulk Hogan. They had to have the camera on Hogan. Hogan's like, focus on me. Come on, that was McMahon, and I get it. Hogan was the hero going out. Now we're passing the torch. And Hogan said before the match, Hogan never does a job for anybody, but he did it for Warrior, even though he did tell McMahon, he said, I don't paraphrase, but he's like, I don't think this is the right idea. I don't think he's ready. And he wasn't. And I mean, that's the story after. But it is one of the best WrestleMania main events. One of the greatest first ever face versus face type of scenario. And I think it was written perfectly. They did a great job. And shout out to Hulk Hogan for, kind of saving that match and delivering a good match. And Warrior getting the second win and having that finale the way he did.
Right or wrong? Yes or no answer. If Hogan landed the leg drop and Warrior kicks out, is it a better finish?
100%. 100%. 100%. But then, but let's say he kicks out. Is he supposed to jump up right away and then hit the splash? I think it's better because then now you're really not selling it. But, maybe Hogan's like, whoa, and then Warrior's kind of, still out, and Hogan tries to get him again, and then Warrior comes fighting back, which would have still worked, right? It could have worked because they've done it before. But I think it was it makes more sense to Hogan goes to hit the big leg.
It does.
Warrior jumps. Hogan and going like that with his back. Oh, shoot.
No, it makes sense.
To me, now looking back, I'm like, I get it. Like Warrior said, nope, taking the opportunity, bam, big splash. 1, 2, 3. Hogan gets out at 2.99, but it's already over. And you're like, Hogan's kind of like, oh, and Hogan's selling like, oh God, like what happened? And Warrior and Hogan hugs him, and here's the belt, and I'm passing the torch. Hogan's going down the ramp. Let's big man focus on Hogan, focus on Hogan. Now go to Warrior. Now it's Warrior. Now it's Warrior's WrestleMania, and and we know what happens from there. So overall, freaking awesome WrestleMania. Maybe I think less complaints than we've had at the other WrestleManias that we've watched. There was other WrestleManias kind of like, this one was probably the better one out of the show.
Best WrestleMania by far. I don't know what's coming up next. I know you do. I know once I start the match or start the show, I'll go, oh, okay, this is the one where this happens. Because again, guys, I am so clueless on all these, so I can't wait. It's all fresh. Like once I saw the opening of this, like, okay, Warrior's about to win the title tonight. But other than that, I didn't know any other matches on the card. So I look forward to this because I know a lot of you guys in the chat are caught up with WrestleManias and you are big fans of that era. I am not. I'm not a fan. I can admit it. I'm not going to fake. I'm not a fraud. My favorite era was Chris Jericho, WCW era. That was my favorite Chris Jericho, our favorite era of wrestling. It wasn't even the Attitude Era because I watched.
Yeah, but we're going to go through an era. We're WCW guys, right? I think I would say this. I know you are. You're a Jericho guy. We are WCW guys, but we're going to be watching WrestleManias that we weren't really paying attention to back then. That Attitude Era until Jericho jumps to WWF for you. I was watching WCW during that time. During the Monday Night Wars, I was watching WCW. I would peek here and there at WWF, but I wasn't really watching WWF. I wasn't really watching it. I was watching WCW. So there's going to be like the fatal four-way. Like, I know there's some WrestleManias, there's some that I didn't get to see. So I'm going to be watching like they're brand new. And I may say, God, I get why I was watching WCW. Or, man, I should have been watching that. But I can't wait till we get there. Like, I'm enjoying this, but I can't wait to get to those WrestleManias because I don't remember those WrestleManias. Like, I love Ruthless Aggression era. I love the era when, when you had WrestleMania 18, 19, 21, and those guys, those WrestleManias. But, yeah, that's going to be really cool. But I love the Golden Age era. This has been a lot of fun, but I'm intrigued when we get to the WrestleManias of the Monday Night Wars where they were losing. I want to see how that turns out. I want to see how we feel about those ones. Christian Lee, Bobby, did I mention that the Americano is one of Gunther's sidekicks? You're talking about Kaiser. Yes, that's her. Yes, Kaiser. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I wish he would go back to the Kaiser gimmick. I like that gimmick. But that's going to do it for today's show. We will be back next week. I think we're doing 7. Are we going to do – that's WrestleMania weekend. And I think we'll be on with Adrian and the Rainy Day podcast and those guys for the pre-show.
We are.
I don't know if we're going to have a stream next week because of all the WrestleMania-ness. That'll be up to us to decide, honestly, because we're going to be busy next week. We're going to be really busy. And I don't know if we can squeeze in a WrestleMania 7 stream. I don't know, Bob.
I don't know about. We'll have to talk about it. If we did, it'd probably be a recording, but we'll see. But we'll definitely be on again. We're gonna Josh will be on Thursday night with Ruckus Wrestling Podcast with Justin Toner and Josh Mabry. Make sure you check out Ruckus Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. And then on Saturday we will be on the pre-show with Rainy Day Podcast. Adrian and the crew talking WrestleMania.
Frankie's got jokes. So I'm debating, by the way, buying Dynasty tonight because I don't like to miss Kenny Omega matches. I know he's going to lose, but I don't like to miss He's one of my favorite wrestlers of this era. But he asked Dynasty post show, brother, I ain't staying up till 2 a.m. That's why I'm not going to buy the show, because I'm not trying to stay up till 2 a.m. to watch super kicks and syringes in the throat. But I do want to watch the match. So I'm just a coin flip away of either buying the show or not, to be completely honest with y'all. So either way, we'll be talking about that probably on the WrestleMania pre-show with the guys, with Frankie and Adrian and everybody else over there. I cannot wait. But Bobby, this has been a fun stream. Again, WrestleMania 6, if you're just now tuning in, it was a fun show. What a blast. The best WrestleMania up to this point. We'll see you next week at some point, either talking WrestleMania, talking post-WrestleMania. We'll be screaming about Brock Lesnar winning that match.
We'll be 100%. On. We'll figure it out. But WrestleMania 7 might have to wait a week or something, but we'll be on next week with the guys, but also maybe just doing a quick show recapping WrestleMania. I think that might be what we're doing, but we'll talk after the show. Appreciate you all. Josh, you can hit it when you're ready, brother.
Peace out, guys.